Okay, so without further ado, we have John Kleinhans, who is our Vernon Town Administrator. He's been in the position since 2024. He grew up here in town, and he's here to let us know what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, and all the fun stuff that he can share with us today. So, without further ado, John.
Happy to be here. Been town administrator since November 2024. Actually was appointed on my birthday, which is fun. Grew up in town. Know many of you. Know many of your kids. Went to middle school, elementary school with them. Sorry to age you in that capacity, but no, it's an exciting role, the town administrator. So I oversee the day-to-day operations of the town with the purview of the mayor and the town council members who are here. So we have 23 departments throughout the town of Vernon. I oversee all those department heads with the mayor, and there's a lot of exciting things going on. So we just finished up our budget cycle, which many of our council members participated in the rigorous debates through and through, but we came out with a 1.75% tax increase, which in comparison to communities across the state of Connecticut, we were very, very minimal on a tax increase side. The state of Connecticut presented us with additional money this year as a one-time opportunity that the council dealt with the last council meeting, which lowered your tax increase to 0.61% or 0.22 mils. So there's a minimal tax increase, and I can kind of explain more about what this budget contained. So there were 4 new strategic positions within this budget. When I look at the town, I'm always looking for efficiencies and effectiveness with what our departments can actually do for our residents, because at the end of the day, we are a service providing organization that provides services for you across the board. So we implemented 4 new positions for this budget, which is a Deputy Director of Public Works, a GIS analyst, an applications analyst, and a staff auditor. So the Deputy Director of Public Works, right now I have a Department of Public Works that oversees many things throughout town. We have about 14 departments that have a deputy director within their departments. In the Department of Public Works, we didn't have a deputy director. So I thought that from an efficiency standpoint would help our director and the working foreman that I have actually operate in a better capacity. So we implemented that within this budget. A GIS analyst, so right now we have GIS and we have about probably 12 to 13 departments that participate in our GIS program. I don't have anybody throughout town that oversees GIS. So this was a strategic investment to oversee our GIS because of how many different departments were touching our GIS system. So a GIS analyst, yep.
What's the GIS?
So it's a mapping system that basically tells you your property lines, your infrastructure components, many things throughout town. So you can go on our town's website, you can punch into the GIS, and there's multiple layers within that we can expand upon to offer better services to you. So having one person within our IT department that's fully dedicated to GIS is going to pay dividends for us from now and into the future. The other position that I thought was really important was an applications analyst position. And this position is to oversee all of the different IT applications that we have throughout the town. So right now you have an IT department that has a help desk that goes out there and provides the different services, but I don't have somebody that oversees all of these IT services from a fundamental standpoint. So like we have a massive internal accounting software that this person will oversee, and I'll roll out a couple other strategic technology. Look, it's 2026. Vernon's been operating in a lot of ways like it's been 1980, 1990, 1995, somewhere in there. And so you have a 36-year-old town administrator who's trying to embrace technology. So I thought an applications analyst will help us and in turn save tax dollars, find efficiencies, and find more effectiveness within town government. So an applications analyst as well. And then one thing that we fell behind on, and many municipalities across the state of Connecticut are falling behind on, is audits. And I think that comes from a fundamental, well, one, it comes from transition. So I was the finance director for 9 months. I came into Vernon to be the finance director. The town administrator went and left, so I applied to be town administrator. but before that, we had a finance officer who was there for a couple of years as well. So through those transitions of staffing, we fell behind on our audits. Many municipalities have fallen behind on their audits. So putting in a strategic staff auditor, this will be an internal auditor within the town of Vernon. Our audit now will be in a better way and into the future. So that's the fourth position of having a staff auditor. So those were all approved by the council, very minimal budget impact in increasing 4 new positions. But I think over time, within the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to find a huge amount of cost savings with having these strategic investments. So that was the budget. So the budget goes for about 8 months. And that starts with me, goes with department heads, with the mayor, with the council, with the public participation. And it's a very active and fluid process. So now the new initiatives that we're starting within the town of Vernon. So you may have seen news about a new bus program that we're implementing. So every single day I get complaints about people driving by buses when people have the stop arm down, the school buses, kids' lives are in danger essentially. So the council worked with myself and a company, Bus Patrol, to implement a program that will start September 1st, that there will be cameras on the outside of the buses, and if you fly by the bus, you'll get a ticket.
Oh, great.
And so those will all be civil infractions. They're not criminal infractions, they're civil infractions, but our goal is to have 0 tickets from this company and 0 people actually violating the law. But in the beginning, we're gonna have a lot of tickets, I can tell you that, and a lot of people learning. It's gonna help public safety and it's gonna be a really good program. So we have that rolling out September 1st. The second program that we're rolling out is a capital tax recovery. So there are multiple people throughout the town of Vernon who do not have their license plates registered with the town of Vernon and their cars registered in the town of Vernon. If you live in the town of Vernon, you should be paying town of Vernon property taxes.
Right.
That's the law. So we're rolling out a program to be able to get those taxes on our tax rolls so that we'll have equitable taxes throughout the entire town. So if your car is not registered in the town of Vernon, you live in the town of Vernon, go to the assessor's office and go to the collector's office and make sure you register it, because that program is in effect right now. The third program is something I'm calling AI Trudy. So Trudy Roberts was a long time receptionist here for the town. She made a joke to me. She said, "You finally got a job here, huh?" She's only been coming your entire life. And I don't think I talked about my background. My dad was very involved in the town. I went into a public service career, and that's how I wound up here. So I was in the city of Danbury before I came to the town of Vernon, much larger community. But when an opportunity came to come back home, I said, "Hey, this makes a lot of sense," and that's why I applied to come back to Vernon. So AI Trudy is something that people get all scared about AI. They do. But what AI Trudy does is the minute that we close in the town of Vernon, a voice system takes over our phone system essentially and has scrubbed our website and the Board of Education's website. So if you call at 4:05 and we close at 4 o'clock, you'll get an AI that will be able to answer questions for you that somebody sitting at town hall could have. Now, this is not on town time. You can call at 2 o'clock in the morning and AI Trudy will talk to you. And it's not. But Matt actually gave me some Trudyisms that we were implementing to remember her memory in it. But the AI Trudy is a great system. We have a 94% completion rate right now of everybody who calls during those off hours is getting their answer and what they need 94% of the time. And I think that's a great service to provide that most municipalities have not taken advantage of. So if you want to try to stump AI Trudy, give it a call. And then give us feedback as well. With the AI Trudy, there's also an AI chat on the website as well. So if you go to the website and you have a question, just punch it into the AI chat, see what will happen, see if it'll be able to get you where it needs to. We have a ton of information on our website, and my goal is to make sure that residents have accessibility to the answers that they need. So I think the AI program so far, the rollout has been successful, and I want to thank the council again for allowing me to implement that program. The fourth new initiative is a new budget software that's coming this upcoming fiscal year. It's going to be able to communicate better with residents about what the budget actually means. That's going to include charts and graphs and actually explain in a priorities-based budgeting model. We talk a lot about zero-based budgeting in the town of Vernon, but I like to talk about priorities-based budgeting. Where is the money that we're spending on our tax dollars actually going when it comes to projects? So what we're doing within this software is aligning budget line items with projects and completion. So it'll be a digital budget book. The council is going to give me a couple of years, hopefully, to get used to this digital budget book. But right now, our budget is an Excel spreadsheet. And it's 2026, like I like to say all the time, and there's different ways to do this. So there's a personal budgeting module, there's a capital budgeting module, there's an operation budgeting module, and then there's a digital budgeting book. All that will implement for the first time this upcoming fiscal year, with really zero impact to our budget to be able to increase transparency and increase the software's ability to make our budget a better thing for residents and for town employees as well. And then the fifth thing, so this building is brand new. This is a beautiful building. This building was out of use for most of my life in a lot of different ways. And I think that having this building functional for staff really is transforming what we have going on up here on Park Place. Our next project will be right in between Town Hall and here as a performing arts center. That's the old senior center building. Has anybody been in that building before? So there is a beautiful second floor of that building for a performing arts center that back in the day, I remember sitting there when there were council meetings there. During some, I think it was when the creation of the third floor was happening.
And the roller skating rink?
No, the roller skating rink was at Town Hall, yeah. That was way before my time, for sure. But having life up here on 14 Park Place is or Park Place in general is so important to downtown Rockville. We just were awarded a grant from the state of Connecticut to fully redo the remediation process at Daniels Mill. So that'll be Daniels Mill, Amberville, and Anacoil. We'll have 215 workforce apartments. Now, workforce apartments is a really interesting concept. So it's not affordable housing. It's not market rate housing. It's workforce housing. Workforce housing is for our municipal employees, for our teachers, for our police officers, for our nurses, for working people to be able to have apartments up there. So the governor is very much down this workforce apartment lane, this workforce housing lane. So he awarded us, through the Community Investment Fund, a huge amount of money to complete the remediation. But those mills, I've looked at those mills all 36 years of my life, and I've looked at them and said, there is so much great potential up there. And with the council's support, the deputy mayor authored a letter with the mayor in order to get that grant. We're going to do transformational things up there. So having 215 apartments, plus a brewery, plus a coffee shop, and plus a restaurant up there in those mills will transform what we have down here. And I'm really excited about the future of Rockville and the future of the town of Vernon. You know, I grew up in this town. I went to Center Road School. I went to Lake Street School. I went to VCMS. I went to Rockville High. It's exciting what we're doing here. So I'm happy to answer any questions. We're also redoing the library steps, which is really exciting. We got federal money from Congressman Courtney to redo the library steps. And then you wanted the bad stuff, right?
Gotta take the good with the bad.
So two things that I'm thinking about as town administrator. There's a new reality when it comes to capital budgeting for our town. We received $10 million in ARPA funding, which is that federal money during the pandemic, to do amazing things. We did Windermere Fields, we did a Horowitz Pool, we did this building here. We no longer will get that injection of federal cash. So that was about $10 million. So instead, now I have to go back and I have to operate on what our old capital budgeting module was, which is a minimal amount of money in a context, because one, I want to keep taxes low, but I want to be able to do projects. So it's that new reality without that capital, without that ARPA infused money. So we're strategic, we're looking for grants every single day. There's a woman in my office who her #1 priority and job is to go after grants. She's already done about $7.5 million worth of grant writing in the last year. So that's where we're continuing to look. We're continuing to look at opportunities, partnering with other communities. We have 169 towns in the state. Everybody's got their little fiefdom. CROG, which is the Capital Region Council of Governments, is looking for ways to have towns work together. We've done that really well when it comes to the Board of Education side and the town side from a shared services component, but we're going to continue to look for other avenues to be able to work together with municipalities and with our departments to keep costs low. And the second part is, I have a retirement tsunami right now. Right now. And I talk about it very openly. 40% of my workforce can retire in the next 3 years. That's a lot of institutional knowledge out of the door. I have 3 openings in my finance department, and I only have 8 full-time employees in my finance department, so half of my finance department is retiring. That's a huge hole. So, you know, one thing that we're doing is we're partnering with the University of Connecticut and their public policy program to be able to allow internships to occur for kids who are either going for their master's. I went to UConn to do a piece of my master's there. You know, finding opportunities for people, but then also working with the high school and working with other components to be able to have a pipeline of new students. When I was in Danbury, the one thing that Danbury is really proud of is they flipped their educational system upside down to a career pathways model. So we actually built a secondary high school. So Danbury High School is 4,000 students, largest high school in the state of Connecticut, way too big. They built a secondary high school in an old corporate building. It was Cardis, which was an old IBM building, and they made it into a 1,500 student population school. So you have 2,500 students here, 1,500 students here, 19 career pathways that you partner with the local college down there, WestCon, to have an associate's degree when you walk out the door from high school, as well as an internship within one of those 19 career pathways. We have a new superintendent coming. We don't know who that is yet, but our superintendent is retiring. And I'm hoping that there's an opportunity to continue to have conversations when we're talking about career pathways and hopefully a career pathway towards municipal government. Because working for the town of Vernon, I hope my department heads agree and my staff agrees, that's a wonderful place. We're trying our best to keep morale up. We're trying our best to recruit the best and retain the best, because if I have the best people who work with us as well as the best place to work, it's going to be the best results for my residents. And I grew up the majority of my life in the town of Vernon, so I care about it deeply. It's the best place, I think, in the world, because you have an urban core, you have a suburban section, and you also have a rural section to the town. There's so many components to the town of Vernon. It's something we should be proud of every single day. And it's the best job I could ever ask for. I gotta be honest with you. As you can tell, I get in the weeds pretty quick. I hope everybody had enough coffee. But I'm happy to answer any question about anything that you guys hear about going throughout the town of Vernon, any ideas you may have about what we can be doing better from the town of Vernon's perspective, and anything that I rattled off about in terms of new initiatives. So happy to be here, and also I want to thank VCN for all your tremendous work, Terry and Tom and everybody else who's been involved for a long, long time. VCN is the leader when it comes to a lot of events. National Night Out is something that I can't wait to participate in again this year. And I just look forward to the continued relationship between the town of Vernon and VCN. So,
Thank you. Floor is open. Tom. Floor is open.
Thank you very much, John, for being here. Really appreciate it. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of news in papers and wherever about New Britain and the problems that they're having financially with P cards and unauthorized spending. Will the auditor that we're bringing on board focus on making sure that what we're doing is legal, above board, and following what we should be doing? The second question I have is a community police officer. We're not going about that.
So we actually just did a revision. We revise the PCAR policy every couple of years internally. I just took a look at it and updated it, and through the different awful things that have happened within the city of New Britain, I can assure you that we have the best internal controls you can ever ask for when it comes to a municipality. But I think that one piece of that auditor position is really the person that prepares all of the audit work for the external auditors to complete in audit, is the role of that position. So I don't want it to be seen as that person is then auditing different pieces of town. They are the kind of the person that puts together, to do an audit, it's about a year worth of work, right? And so we have, thank God we have Frank Zickus, who's been with us for 37 years. And he has done the town's audit for 37 years, working with the external auditor. I'm not only losing Frank on July 3rd, but he's also the finance director at the moment. So I needed to create two positions to do as much work as what Frank has been able to do. But I think that from a policy side and from an internal control side, we review these very regularly, and we work with our external auditors, and they believe that the processes we have in place right now are very sufficient. So. And on a community police officer standpoint,
Yes.
been working with the chief of police, working with the new captain, to be able to figure out what the future has for a community police officer. I find that very beneficial. I believe that we need a community police officer, and we're working with the mayor and the council and different folks in terms of implementing programs like that. So,
Excellent, thank you.
yep.
Anyone else?
I like this idea of the AI Trudy phone line. It sounds innovative, and I hope it works out well. Presumably, it'll be a dedicated phone number that will be published on the website and in town publications. But I was curious whether or not it might be expanded into an online AI Trudy chatbot on the town's website, so that people could actually copy and save a transcript of their conversation.
Yep. So it's the main number for town hall is AI Trudy's number. So you call that number, and so if you Google Town of Vernon right now, main number, that's AI Trudy. But it's not on during the work day. Because what I feel we need, if I have people working within town hall, a live human should pick up the phone.
Right.
The minute nobody's in there anymore, that's when AI Trudy can be accessible from a phone perspective. The chatbot, it's live, it's good, it's on our website right now.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yep. So, and test it out too, because the one thing about me is, like, if there's a criticism or there's a thought or there's a way to improve, just send me an email. You know, pick up the phone, give me a call. My door is always open. So.
The question about the work over at the mills, because working at Cornerstone, we get to see and hear it frequently, which isn't a problem. We're excited to see progress. I'm wondering, what is the timeline? Like, when I mean, and I know it's going to be a while and we wouldn't hold you to it. I'm just curious what the thought is on how long that would take.
I think we got 5 years.
Okay.
I think we got 5 years. I think that's a very realistic timeline. I think this remediation work in total takes about a year and a half. And then the developer, Sean Gately, could talk at length in terms of the process. This has kind of been his, he's been working so hard on this for a long time, and to see it actually develop and be a piece of something right now. But the developer then takes ownership of the property and develops the property. But one thing that I've had multiple conversations with Sean about is that it's not going to be a gated community over there, right? It is going to be accessible for the public to walk through and be able to see that waterfall over there, to experience Rockville over there. It does not just becomes, these are the apartments here and they're blocked off, and oh, look at those really fancy apartments over there. That's not the concept. It's open space, it's different areas of walking, it's different areas. We're building out trail systems throughout downtown Rockville as well right now. We need a walkable, livable community. We need, and people always say, oh yeah, it should be like Blueback Square. Absolutely not. It's Rockville. So, yeah, I'm born and raised. We're not looking for West Hartford here, but we're looking for the reinvention and we're looking for the reimagination of what Rockville is and what Rockville can be. And that's an inclusive area. That's everybody together. That's providing more housing. There's a lot of people my age and younger and older who can't afford housing right now. So we're looking for different housing models where people can afford. I want people to be able to grow up in Vernon and stay in Vernon or raise a family in Vernon. That's my priority. So. And the mural project at Cornerstone, very excited about it. So thank you guys.
We are excited about it.
We're just working on the RFQ for the artists. We're working for a little bit more crowdfunding campaigns to raise a little bit more money. So if anybody hasn't donated and wants to donate just a little bit, there's a crowdfunding website. We're going to put a mural on the side of Cornerstone, and it's very, or on the front of Cornerstone rather. It's very, very exciting. We really appreciate the partnership you guys are doing with us. Jeff.
I certainly appreciate hearing about the process of the administration. It sounds great. All the work you guys do is tremendous. As chairman of the Energy Improvement District Board, our charter is to try and help municipal energy use as well as residents and businesses. And in the past, the town's been great at supporting our efforts in getting information out there. But on June 4th, the governor signed a bill with passed legislature, the House Bill 5340, and there's some great features in it. Programs for low-income community solar, residential energy storage incentives, plug-in solar, smart solar permitting, but there's some great stuff in there. And our board is meeting in January, and our agenda is to say, is there anything in that new bill that might help Vernon? And so my question is, in the past, you've been great at getting our information into the website. So we want to, if we learn something, we want to be able to get it out to the community. And we've had great support from all the departments. And so that's just kind of the message. We'd like to keep that going. Of course, utility costs in the state of Connecticut is a huge issue, political. We pay more than other states. And what can, if things are being passed to help everyone, let's get it out there, is my point.
Yeah, I've had a couple of conversations in regards to that bill too, so maybe we can talk offline.
Yeah.
Because I think that there are great opportunities. I know that the governor just rolled out additional things that he's looking to do. And an energy press conference, bottom line, it costs too much, right?
Yeah.
Bottom line. So Eversource is going from Pura for 13% rate increase again, right? And so we, as the town of Vernon, launched a petition where every single town council member signed it, the mayor signed it. We launched a petition. We have over 2,500 people have signed on to that petition within the first week of us launching that petition.
Including the chairman of the VCN.
Perfect. But our goal is to get 10,000 signatures on that petition and then submit it to Pura. Pura is a new board. There are new people on Pura. I'm hoping that they're taking an independent look and trying to hold these utility companies more accountable when it comes to, listen, maintaining infrastructure is very expensive. We all know that. But at the same time, when the CEO of Eversource is making $37,000 a day, and the CEO of our community here, the mayor, is making $32,000 a year, I got a problem with that. So,
I appreciate the mayor's efforts on that
yeah.
petition. That's great.
Yeah.
Step up.
So those are some of the different things we're doing in the town. But I always want to, if you guys have any suggestions or concerns, I'm here. So we're contracting with Vernon Media, a very local video production company based in Vernon over by Stop and Shop, Rockville High Grad as well, to do 90-second videos, which I should send over to the community. Yep. 90-second videos, and we're highlighting departments every 2 weeks. This concept comes from something I did in Danbury. It was called This Week in the City, and what we did was we did 92 videos, I think it was, explaining different departments, because to the public, they hear social services, what does social services do? Well, maybe something I think about in my head that social services does, but Matt does 27 different things, you know? And explaining those different concepts to people, and I think in today's age, unfortunately, what do? We scroll on our cell phones, right? That's what we do 90% of the time, especially my generation. So taking those concepts and putting them in video, I think is one of the most effective uses. We also have a magazine that goes to every single residential household in the town. And that's wonderful for people that read paper magazines. That's all good. But we have to connect to a different generation as well. So what we're implementing is these videos. We just started Constant Contact. So we're gonna do a monthly newsletter as well via an email rather than just a paper copy. So you'll get more timely information about what's going on in the town of Vernon. You'll get it in email, you'll get it in video, and you'll still get it in paper, so.
Great.
Yeah, I got another one.
Yeah.
Can you bring us up to date and what we can do to
Good stuff.
help our, I think, underserviced teen population?
Yeah, so we're gonna start a pilot through this last budget. We talked about moving some money over from that initial money that was injected in to start a pilot of the teen center at 375, just like I went to when I was a kid at 375. So we're working with Marty, we're working with different folks, working with Michelle as well, to figure out what that looks like for this upcoming year. That teen center still looks like the same when I was there, right? It does, except maybe one room looks a little bit different. But what does the population need? What does the population want of our teens? Is it the same type of conversation as when I was a kid? I know what we did there when I was a kid 25 years ago. We sat on a couch, we played video games, we played Pac-Man, and we played pool. And those pool tables are still down there, right? So I think it's still a conversation with the council, but we're gonna start a pilot with that unused money because we went and we looked at surrounding teen centers and surrounding community centers because there's not one model, right? There's several models and taking a look at what is best for the town of Vernon. So yeah, so that's kind of my opinion.
Sooner the better.
Yeah, exactly.
Have y'all thought about anything with the small businesses in town?
Yeah. So I mean, so we have an economic development commission. You know, Sean Gately oversees the developmental services wing as well as economic development. So I think reaching out to him and talking with him. But right now we're doing small business videos as well. I think that's another opportunity to be able to broadcast small businesses. So I think if you want to be featured within those businesses, just communicating with Sean is the best way to go. But I think we've done somewhere around 15 or 20 videos so far of showcasing our small businesses. I really find videos, and we're kind of speaking the same language, as a way to engage with folks the best way possible. But we need to be as supportive as possible for our small businesses. And if there's any insights you have or any comments you want to talk about, you know, I grew up in a family of small business owners. I understand what that means. My folks all had small businesses here in town. So, you know, I'm a big supporter of our small business community and happy to support it anyway, so.
And up here, to John's point, between the mill redevelopment, the art center project, and the hospital, which was fantastic, that you know, that was purchased, it's gonna bring a lot of change kind of organically, and it's gonna be really interesting the next few years to see what downtown looks like.
Yeah, no.
Something Michelle and I have talked about as we're part of a food group for Vernon is, it would be nice if there used to be a supermarket in downtown Vernon. Having an option for people here to walk to get fresh fruits and vegetables, healthy food, would be fantastic, and maybe that can be part of the discussion in the next few years as well.
Well, and two more quick things, Matt, he's talking about that. Matt and Annie do a fabulous job with our farmers market.
Yeah.
So our farmers market is happening again. We have five dates for our farmers market. Please visit, please enjoy. We also have the Mayor's Summer Concert Series that parlays right from the farmers market to the Mayor's Summer Concert Series. And we started a new concept called Meet on the Street that Terry was talking about before. We're having a Meet on the Street Festival over in the Annapoil lot. That's all in anticipation for one day having 215 apartments down there. So right now, we're trying to build out the ability to say, hey, come to downtown Rockville. We have exciting things going on. So we had acoustic music. We had about 500 people come to Meet on the Street, which 500 people down in downtown Rockville, that helps our small business community, right?
On a
That
Thursday
helps
night.
on a Thursday night.
Yeah, right?
So we're doing that 2 more times this summer. But I'd like to see a day, and this is just me being an optimist, I'd like to see a day where every week we have acoustic music in some capacity in downtown Rockville. It's something I worked really hard in Danbury to do, and I'd like to see that here at some point, of just small stuff, right? Just, hey, there's something going on in downtown Rockville today. Like that would be exciting, and I think for folks who have lived here for a long, long time, and Terry's raising her hand, that's what gets me excited in the morning about coming here and making a huge difference for the community that I love, the community that I'm from. So there's huge potential here, and I'm always looking for partnership with all of you folks to make that into a reality. So
Where and when is the farmer's market?
Kat can tell you.
Same location, Henry Park, same day, which is Thursdays, same time, 4:30 to 6:30. The first one will be July 23rd. So July 23rd, July 30th, August 6th, 13th, and 20th. So 5 weeks in a row.
Now, are we still working with HBCC
Yeah,
to help?
Hockenham Valley, we're contracting with Hockenham Valley Dollar Ride, so free rides to the farmer's market for anyone that needs it, whether because of age or ability. We want to make sure you can get to the farmer's market, so if you need a ride, call Hockenham Valley to schedule through Dollar Ride. And we'll be accepting food stamps again and doubling them as well.
Is this the first year doubling them, or
We doubled last
you
year.
doubled last year? Okay. Because I know a lot of people ask, like, do they double or do they?
We
Not
doubled.
sure.
Oh, that's great.
So that's good to know. Marcy, you had something?
So I'm thinking you guys need to figure out about getting a bank back here. My clients, yesterday, everybody was complaining, there's no bank.
Yeah, there's no bank.
Yeah, I heard it all day in the shop.
Yeah,
They talked about
Yeah,
that, they talked
yeah.
about the AI.
yeah.
And people weren't happy with the AI.
Yeah, AI is a terrifying concept, 100%. But I really wanted to provide an opportunity for residents to access information when we were closed. Because we're only on a 4-day work week in the town of Vernon for most administrative offices. So I'm closed Friday for the most part, and then Saturday and Sunday. So, and then all these after hours things, oh man, I forgot about this, or I forgot to look into that building permit. How can I do that? Well, call in and maybe you can get some information that you could just do it all from home. So that was my concept with the AI. AI will never be on during the working day.
Well, John, we thank you so much for being